Right. So the title of this panel is, are we ready for aviation's next shockwave? Which, of course, assumes there's going to be a shockwave. Our panelist, Anko van der Werff, is the CEO of Scandinavian Airlines, SAS, better known to us. Roberto Alvo, CEO of LATAM Airlines Group. Deborah, Flint, the President and CEO of Greater Toronto Airports Authority. And Abdelhamid Addou is the CEO of Royal Air Maroc. Now, the beauty of these characters is in their various ways, they represent all different types of, all different aspects of aviation in a sense, with airlines that have faced all sorts of issues and problems over the years. But even before we'd started, Roberto, you were being difficult.
Difficult?
Yeah.
Never. I'm never difficult.
You're difficult, go on.
No, but I was telling Richard, why the title? I mean, why do we need to tie aviation to crisis again? Actually, if you look at this, at the history, we have withstood everything that has come up to us. The 2008 financial crisis. Then when Zoom came in, everybody thought that corporate traveling was going to disappear. Actually, Zoom has increased corporate travel. We had the pandemic. LATAM is going to be 25% larger than in 2019. So this industry knows how to handle crisis, but we shouldn't talk about crisis anymore. I think we should talk about the future of this amazing industry that connects the world and that is essential to the world we have spinning.
I applaud your glass half full view of the world, but what you've just pointed out are all the crises that you've weathered successfully.
Absolutely, but why do you link it to crisis anymore? Let's talk about...
Because we know there's a crisis around the corner. You don't agree?
I think everybody has to face crisis. I mean, look at what happens today with tech companies. They're investing $1 trillion in AI. They make them asset heavy, which they never were. So we're all equal at this point in time.
Yeah, no, look, Roberto and I are good friends. We, I think, agree to almost everything in life. Maybe not this one. I'm not 100% sure. Look, I just called 3 years ago something I called a retired CEO in the aviation. So he started in 1987, and he started listing all the crises that he's had, and I started listing the ones from 2000 that I've had. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. Something will happen, and we just don't know what. I do think that we're in a much better place than where we were. We've cleaned up balance sheets. We're much stronger. I think we're able to withstand shocks better. But there will be something. This is an industry that just...
I'm just going to move your microphone just a little. No, keep it there. Just bend it towards you. That's a little bit easier.
Better?
So, the same for you. It's fine. No, just bend it towards you.
So perhaps then,
carry on.
Joining in on that, as the airport leader on this panel, the place where the media goes to interview people who are experiencing the crisis in their air travel, I would say that for the airport perspective, crisis is an opportunity to reshape the industry. Very rarely is the crisis actually self-inflicted by any of the players in the industry, but we are called to respond to it. And so if we think about the most recent global crises with air travel and health and the pandemic, after that, or as a result of it, the technology adoption radically transformed the industry. For the very first time, airports were deploying sensors en masse across in order to predict wait times and flow, where a 30-second change in processing at the border imploded the system of travel for us. Airlines became more predictive in their flight disruptions. Again, not necessarily the fault of the airline, but the global situation. And all of a sudden, passengers were given more information by which to plan and prepare for their travel, what the disruption might be and how they could decide to recover from that.
In the case of the airports, and I was reading the summary of your airports and the issues that you face, relatively old terminals that need to be completely redone, infrastructure, technology, all of which is the same for most of the airports, but the infrastructure costs are vast.
That's right. And so airports, no, I don't think any of my predecessors, whether it was at LAX or in the Bay Area or here, ever predicted that there would be almost 9 billion passengers that traveled in 2025, and that this is going to double. Airports weren't built for this, except perhaps in this region where they actually are preparing for 2 times the size of Dubai Airport today. So infrastructure, airports in particular, have to have a very long planning horizon. We're making decisions today that will serve us 40, 50 years ahead of time. So the planning cycle is critical. When I think about, is this going to be XLR dominant, long-range, narrow-body aircraft to build gates for and terminals, or is it going to be the next version of the A380? Is it the 777X? How do we build facilities that are flexible? The good news is that technology is going to help us to do that.
And how do you pay for it?
Well, and the payment. But the more efficient we are in making facilities flexible, the more volume we can get, the better the airlines can get value from the airports.
You have some beautiful airports.
Well, we do, and we are actually building a new airport in Casablanca that will triple the size of the current one to reach 40 million passengers. I just want to come back to those crises, and I fully agree with my colleagues and friends, with Roberto. We went through those crises, and we came stronger. I mean, for our airline, Royal Maroc, after COVID, we nearly doubled our benefits and our turnover and efficiency. The only thing that I'm worried about today is not really having a new pandemic or geopolitical issues or wars. We're going through wars every day. Still today, there are 2 wars in the world that are hurting our business, but yet we will overcome this. Protectionism is something that is looming and very strong. And look, we are airlines.
Before you need to define what sort of protectionism are you talking about?
When you have countries that close their airspace for any kind of reason, and you can find reasons that are, they would say,
Canada's a great example of aviation protectionism in terms of vis-a-vis this part of the world. Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with Canada, for instance. I mean, it's been limiting other nations' growth and very protective, I think, of a few or one particular Canadian airline to make sure that not everyone flood the market. The rules out there to just have a promotion, for instance, are still, anyway, antiquated.
Look, we have an open skies agreement with Europe, and I always say there's an open skies and closed airports. So today, we are dealing with the same market. We have the same customers worldwide. We have the same infrastructures, airports, same planes, but yet the market is not free, it's not open. So at one point of time, if we want the customers to have enough choices, we need to open the markets and to let everybody work freely. This kind of protectionism is something that, in my opinion, is getting stronger and stronger. Tariffs is one side of protectionism that we can face today. And if we don't go beyond this, this is a looming crisis that will last long.
What?
I'm still the optimist, apparently, here, because I understand and I agree. But I think that the crisis we've withstood have made this industry very agile. So I think we can overcome most of this.
I'm not.
I don't know why. I woke up happy today, apparently.
No, you did. I'm not suggesting. I mean, the fact that the industry has weathered these crises is in spite of them. I mean, they are agile. You are all brilliant. You did all borrow vast amounts of money during the pandemic. Some of you didn't manage to come out the other side. So, to that extent, you are brilliant at managing crises. I guess what I'm trying to...
And even better than many other industries, because there I really agree with Roberto, right? I mean, my point is indeed exactly that. There will be crises, we don't know what the next one, and when it's going to hit, there will be something.
Right.
But our creative solutioning to whatever comes our way is unparalleled.
But let's take a really good example. How many other industries had to wake up and worry about a volcano thousands of miles away, spewing ash that was going to close down the transatlantic?
Yeah. Or, I mean, look at COVID, where anything digital basically exploded. And here we were on the ground for 6 months. Very different. I mean, we're just, in some of our markets in Europe, we're just surpassing the 2019 passenger levels, right? 6 years.
But we are surpassing.
But we are surpassing them.
And airlines have had record profits in the last several years, and the growth trajectory is back again. Right? So this is a very resilient and agile industry. All industries have to be today. It's extremely interconnected, and the future, the industry will be even more integrated because of technology, which will make it more efficient, it'll make it better for the customer experience, and that will bring the economic impact back to the communities and countries.
Do you think that the aviation industry punches its true weight when it comes to government, when it comes to regulators? And I'll come straight off the fence and say I don't. I think that you all fall at the first hurdle, in a sense, because the industry is taxed, it has more regulation, it has more nonsense affecting your balance sheets. Single European skies, never going to happen in my lifetime. Heathrow Runway 3, never going to happen in my lifetime.
That's a 50-year project. European Single Skies was approved in 2002. Come on.
It's never going to happen in our lifetime.
I agree with you. I mean...
But why... this is a great debate for me, because why is it that you're all so frightened to have the argument with governments and regulators?
I don't think it's fright. No. What is true is, I mean, aviation is essential. If you one day shut down, just for a day, you create chaos in the country. But at the same time, passengers, customers are ultra sensitive to the things you do. I mean, you increase fares, or fares increase by 5%, and all of a sudden everybody's talking that you're stealing from them. And actually, this is the most efficient transportation industry in the world by far. And but there is a sensitivity about our business that is hard to overcome, and politicians buy that very quickly.
Exactly. We've been responsible. That's all. And look, some of our colleagues are using the governments to make more protections in their markets, and we know that. At one point of time, we can use our governments, but we have been responsible because the market, again, has to still grow for everybody. We'd better have a smaller share on a bigger cake than a big market share on a small cake, that's all.
And what you're laying bare here, I think, Richard, is what we saw in COVID and what we see in all those topics that you just mentioned, is that even though we are a completely integrated, fully agree, global industry, as soon as there is a real important topic, whatever it is, price increases, taxation, everyone goes back to their own national kind of views. And so it becomes extremely complex with politicians. I think there can be a number of countries that agree with you, but then even on a European level, when it comes to ESAF or when it comes to whatever, right?
How
all these
did
things
the
will
European
then break
carriers get lumbered with SAF mandates that are unrealistic, with a regime that is extremely expensive, and again, single European skies?
I'll let the other three answer that question.
Look, we are facing this. We are being asked to have SAF when there's no SAF available, and we pay taxes for that.
Right, but
so I don't know who's pushing for that.
Right, but if you suddenly decided we're not going to put up with this,
let me take it, because I am the one representing, in essence, Europe. It was even worse because, of course, we've always said it has to be level playing field. And now there were individual European countries going for, right, exactly to my point just a minute ago, right, aviation's fantastic and we're absolutely willing and able to stand up to politicians, but the frustrating thing about aviation is we're a global industry, we're completely connected. When everything works well and smooth, it's all great. But as soon as something happens, one country or one regulator or one politician can destroy a lot of things for us.
On the question of the supply chain at the moment, do any of you told me yesterday you don't have aircraft on the ground at the moment, or at least negligible.
No, we don't.
You don't?
We do.
Many?
Many for a long time, which is even worse.
Can you imagine, do you have any aircraft parked at your place?
Well, my airport would grow faster if some of the airlines had access to the aircraft that they've ordered over the last few years.
So now we have a real problem of the whole thing. How many aircraft are you?
So we have 14 A320s on ground.
14?
14. And we had up to 4 787s last year on ground as well.
What does that make you feel?
Frustrated. And you know what? The problem
Sorry, to those who don't know, this is, I assume this was engine related. Was it? I assume this, for the people who may not be familiar, this was engine related, was it?
Yeah, basically the engines don't last as long as they were promised to last. So you have to take them out faster, and there's no capacity to maintain them at the speed they need to be maintained because they're getting out of the aircraft faster. So you have gliders basically instead of jet
And
engines.
for some of them to realize here, I mean, the engine turnaround time can be now up to a year, I mean, literally 330 days or something.
No, actually, we don't have those problems. But we know that for the future deliveries and future planes, maybe would face those kind of problems.
We have 5 minutes, and I want to be positive because I think that I'm feeling your vibe, Roberto. I'm feeling your vibe. The airports, will we ever love airports?
The vision statement is to put the joy back into travel by making Pearson the chosen place to fly and work. So it happens today, actually. There are people that love to fly, and they love to come through Pearson. We're the #1 ranked large airport in North America. But there's a lot of friction to take out of the system. And I think over the course of the last few days, we've talked about the art of the possible that is really tangible through technology, and how integration of and data sharing between airlines, between airports, between government agencies can take the facilities we have today and make those far more reliable and efficient, number one. Get the cost value out of the investments that have been made over the last half century. Number two, create seamless models for the future. I mean, I expect in the future baggage to be far less cumbersome, where baggage drop-off can be remotely, check-in experience can also be very frictionless. We don't have to spend money on huge check-in halls in the future. And personalization. You have 8 different personalities when you travel. You might have 3 of them right here, but you have 8 when you travel, right? Depending on the type of travel. If you're with your mother, if you're with a young person, if you're in a hurry or you want more contact, airports and the airlines will be able to respond more to each of them.
That is true, actually. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
We are different. If I'm traveling on my own, I'm a machine.
Yes.
I know exactly what, I mean, I'm not quite Clooney up in the air, but if I'm traveling with my husband, well, what are you doing? No, stop it, no. No, we're not going to go over there. No, we're not going to go to that show. No. And it all becomes a big mess because I know what I'm doing.
Recognizable, Richard.
Sorry?
Recognizable.
Yes.
Very.
But are we the same? Are you the same when you travel?
Exactly, of course. When we travel for any corporate mission, it's easy. When we travel with the family, even us as CEOs, I mean, you have to have your family with you, and the needs are different. Everything is different. So yes, I fully agree with you. Many types of travelers, and airports have to find a way to respond to any kind of traveler, and which is not an easy task.
I think that biometry will change the airport experience for sure. I mean, the physical part of it, it's still going to be complicated because you put a lot of people together in a relatively small place nonetheless. But there are airports today that are great, and there are airports today that are awful. I mean,
name them.
Copenhagen.
What? Awful?
No, great. No, seriously, very and really not only because it's our home. I have to say, it's just digitalization great. It's just easy. We still offer connections that are up to 45 minutes, right? Make it work. I mean, that was something that the bigger airports in Europe already lost. No, I really mean it. Oslo, Stockholm. It's just different league. I mean, integration of digitalization helps tremendously. It's really a pleasure. I do find the mid-sized airports anyway to be very comfortable.
Scale airports are very difficult. We have 50 million passengers plus connections.
Yes.
Challenging, that's where technology will ease that.
Do you get worried, Deborah, with comparisons to airports either in this part of the world or, so particularly when it comes to baggage delivery in some of the Asian airports, which are extremely fast baggage delivery? I mean, Changi obviously comes to mind, HKI comes to mind.
Yeah, I mean, in these regions you have such great cooperation and alignment of the importance of airports to the region, the economy. And so that simpatico helps to smooth out all of those experiences. It's very different, say, in North America, where we have different parts of government and entities, airlines and airports alike, that are all trying to work together, but they're not one integrated company. So they're very different playing fields.
Let me speak for myself at least, but we're jealous of that, of course, right? I mean, when you look at the alignment at owner level between airline, airport, so many of the suppliers, and what you're then able to provide to your customers,
Right.
because that's in the end our business. That's so much better.
Final thought, not on crisis. I'm going to let you have it. What is the one thing that still amazes you about this industry? Bearing in mind, you've all been in it for a good long time. You've been through the crises. Start with you. What's the one thing that still amazes you about it?
To be honest, the capacity of the teams to go through transformation in such an easy way. I mean, we have airlines with thousands of people working, and we are as agile as startups. It's amazing, and this is really surprising me every day.
Anko.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. There's a couple, but I have to pick one. So the resilience and the creativity of our teams, of everyone who works in this industry. You can throw whatever at us, and here we are, right? I think it's brilliant. I really enjoy still every single day working in this industry.
I'll remind you of that in the middle of winter when the snowplows aren't working.
We were the third most punctual airline in the world last year.
Deborah.
We connect to 70% of the world's economies. 50,000 people work at the airport. The magic of the millions of things that the people do every single day to make this beautiful machine work and for the beauty and gift of flight.
Roberto.
I was thinking that maybe I don't talk about crisis anymore because of the resilience to withstand crisis. Such a good thing. But this is such an international industry. I mean, in how many places can you really meet people and serve people of 100 or 150 different nationalities? I love the way that the industry expands.
My answer, that the thing actually works. That you have all these people, all these parts, all these aircraft, and the magic, the bloody thing actually flies. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel.